Okay, this is video for the sketching a quadratic function. Y equals x squared minus 5x minus 24. Now, this is not linear. How do I know it's not linear? Because the power is more than 1. When power is 1, which we can't really see it, it'd be just y equals x plus 4 or something, or 3x minus 6 or something like that. That's what you call it linear function, straight line. This is quadratic. In other words, it's a parabola. Okay, so a parabola we are going to sketch today. Now first, no matter what function you are sketching, there are a couple of things you need to find. There's 5 things, if you could. First will be y-intercept when x equals 0, and x-intercept when y equals 0. And then if you could find the vertex, that'd be great. And then think about whether it's a concave up or down. And then finally, you sketch it. Okay, so let's have a look at this. First thing first, I'm going to put number 1, y-intercept. Okay, when y-intercept is the coordinates, the point is on the y-axis. Now think about a y-axis points, that everything x coordinate will be 0 there. Okay, so think of that as soon as you see this. So I'm going to change the color and we'll put the 0 here. I will get, and it'll be minus 24. Now normally in here, the last bit without any x in it, it'll be your y-intercept because, you know, it's independent. Okay, so my points on that will be 0 and minus 24. I need lots of points before I sketch this parabola. Second step will be x-intercept. Now I picked y-intercept first to do because it's just easier. Now this was a slightly little bit different. Now x-intercept is when the points are on the x-axis, which means commonly y equals 0. So if I put that in like that, 0 equals x squared minus 5x minus 24. Now I'm just going to change this one because it looks much better for me if I do it like that. Now this is what we call quadratic equation, and we need to factorize this because you know your x value will be 2. 2 x values you're going to get. So first of all, I'm just going to put a setup like this. So I'm going to put it into the factor form, which is like x minus or plus something, x minus plus something. That's what we call factor form. So I'm going to put that like that. Now be careful with this. I'm just going to have to think of it. This is where it's a product. 2 factors times together, you will get minus 24. And here, the sum. Okay, so the factors of 24, let's think about factors of 24 rather than minus 24 because we don't know which one will be negative. So I'm just going to think about factors of 24 first. Okay, so that'll be 1, I'm going to just write it here. 1 and 24, that's not going to give me 5. When I add or take away, it's not going to happen. And then 2 and 12, nah. What about 3? Aha, 3 and 8. Now I can play around with that to find 5, or minus 5 in this case. So now I know when I times 2 numbers, I will get 24. When I play around the sum it, I will get 5. So let's have a look at the middle number here. It's negative 5. When I add this together, I have to have minus 5. So that means the bigger number will follow whatever the middle number's sign. and then the other one will be positive. Why? Because otherwise you won't get -5. And when you times it together, I will get -24. Okay, we got the two factors. Well done. So I'm going to put it right there, like this. Okay, so that's not too bad. Now, we haven't really found the X Intercept yet. All we've done, we just factorized it. So we just factorize this. Okay, so I need to put y equals 0. So to get, this is like a times here. Oh, can't really write. And this is like first number times second number is 0. So that means roughly this has to be 0 or that has to be 0. Or either both of them is 0. So I'm going to put x plus 3 equals 0 or 8 minus, oops, that's not right, x minus 8 equals 0, okay, to satisfy this equation. So therefore my x values here will be -3 or x equals 8. So these two are my X intercepts. So I'm going to convert this into points because I need points to sketch parabola. So this will be -3, 0, and because I've got 2 points, 8 and 0. So what do we have here, guys? I've got points for on the y-axis. I have 2 points on the x-axis. Okay, now I need to think about vertex. Vertex is where, you know, when parabola is like concave up, in the middle, right there, up there. So I'm going to think about this because these two are, if that's x-axis, I'm just going to skip not drawing y-axis here, -3, and that's 8, and there's somewhere here it's 0. So that's a 3 here, that's 8 here, it's all together 11. Now vertex, because parabola is what, symmetrical, has to be bang in the middle. So what's a halfway of 11 units? 5.5. So 5.5, not here 5.5. So that's 3 and 2.5 here. That will give me the here is 5.5, in here 5.5. So my x coordinates for vertex is 2.5. Okay? And then if I substitute this value into my original equation, I will get y value. Is that right? Yep. So y equals 2.5 squared minus 5, 2.5 minus 24. Now if you use your calculator, you will get minus 30.25. Okay, so your vertex will be 2.5 and minus 30.25. So that's my vertex. Okay, number 4. Is it concave up or down, this parabola? So let's have a look. Now I know for a fact here there's a 1 there. I mean, you can't see it, but we know it's 1. That's a positive 1. Therefore, it's concave up. So we got all the information we need to sketch parabola. All right, it'll be really, really important if you can sketch neat and nicely. So I've got grid paper. If you got your maths exercise book is a grid, that will be fantastic. I'm going to push this one up because I probably don't need on the first and second quadrant. I'll probably need a third and fourth. So I'm going to plot the points of what I need. What was a y-intercept? Was on 0 and minus 24. 0 and minus 24 right there. So I'll put that in. And my x-intercept was minus 3 and 0 on the x-axis, and also 8 and 0 on x-axis. Now my vertex was 2.5 here and all the way down to minus 30.25. So I'm going to put roughly here because my scale is about 4 in each square box. So roughly here. Now, this is important part. Quadratic parabola is, what is it? It's curved. Okay? So I'm not really sure it's I'm gonna do well. It's a bit of a pressure. So I need to sketch this all the way here. So maybe, I'm not sure it's gonna go well, but I'll do my best. Obviously, don't do it with a pen like what I'm doing right now. Do it with pencil first. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Excellent. So it's a concave up. Now make sure your vertex part is smooth. It's not sharp, smooth. So I'm just gonna use a ruler. So I'm just gonna go like that. And I'm gonna indicate the coordinates. And that's like minus 30.25. Something like that. Okay, so that's what it is. And then lastly, I'm just going to name this parabola because every graph has a name, like you have your name. So this one is what we call y equals x squared minus 5x minus 24. Okay, and that's how you sketch parabola. Okay, well done, people.